High-rise financing. All right, guys. So I have one of the best lenders in Las Vegas for high-rise condos, and his name is Sam. And how do you pronounce your last name, Sam?
Sam Gabay.
There we go. I always want to make sure you can pronounce your name so I don't mess it up because everybody pronounces my name wrong.
Okay, thank you.
But
Thanks for
I'm
calling me one of the best lenders. That's
Well,
humbling.
you have programs that can finance these things. So a lot of other lenders really don't put themselves out there, and we don't know who they are, right?
Sure,
But
that's right.
I wanted to bring you to my viewers because again, we do high-rise condos a lot, and your email caught my attention. What your title of your email is we finance Panorama Towers, Veer, MGM, and more.
Correct. That's
And
right.
another agent who's a really good agent in the high rises gave me your information in the past. And so if I have someone who needs financing, I'm going to be bringing them to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is proven. We do it every month. So this is something we do on a regular basis.
Nice.
Yep.
And one of the big things that I saw in here was MGM. You can
Right.
do MGM. And is that studio condos too?
Right. So yeah, MGM. We also do the Palms here in Las Vegas because I focus mostly in Las Vegas, but we could also do the condo hotels in Florida and California as well. But
Perfect.
here in Las Vegas, we do the MGMs, we do the Palms, we do the Trump. There's Vdara as well. We do offer for both studios and for the one bedroom units. Okay, so we can do them both.
And you know what? Other people can do one bedrooms, but then they can't do the studios, like at all.
Right. Right. There are a few lenders that say they can do the one bedrooms. The studios we can do. One thing about this, the lenders that say they can do one bedrooms, you always want to make sure that whatever lender you're dealing with, I mean, hopefully you're dealing with me, but if you're dealing with somebody else, that's okay too. But just make sure they've actually done it because a lot of lenders say, yep, 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 we can do it because it's on their list. It says they can do condo hotel one bedrooms, but there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay. So when the lender gets the deal, they'll put it through underwriting. And one of the things they're going to ask for when they do the underwrite is a condo questionnaire. And one of the items, a couple of the items on those questionnaires, one of them specifically is, the HOA fees are pretty high. Well, I mean, you get value for that. I shouldn't say high. I mean, for example, at the MGM, you've got a lazy river, 7 pools, restaurants, casino. I mean, all of that's attached, the gyms and the whole thing. So,
Well,
so
and
there's
you
a
can
cost.
short-term rent. You can
Right.
actually
So there's a
short-term rent
there's a
legally.
cost to all those amenities. So sometimes you've got HOA fees, 1,000, 1,300. It still seems to work out for the investor though. But some people are late on those HOA fees. So that's where a lot of like lenders get hung up is when that condo questionnaire comes back to underwriting, it'll say that there's a high rate of delinquency on the HOA fees, and that freaks out a lot of lenders, and then you end up losing your deal. So we've gone out of our way. The partners that we've partnered with, and I've searched the whole country. I deal with lenders in Florida. I deal with lenders in Texas, credit unions. We've really gone the extra mile to make this work. But we've presented these questionnaires to them ahead of time. They already know about the HOA delinquency, so we know that we're not going to have a problem with that in underwriting. So when we
Nice.
put it out there that we can do it, we know we're going to be able to go from start to finish and actually get it done.
Yeah, and your track record per all the closings makes confirms that.
There you go. Yeah, we do have a track record. We do have a track record. Another thing, there are a couple of other investors that will do condo hotels. Down payment is a big one. I know that one of the main lenders out there wants 50% down. Okay. And so I get calls all the time, but the other guy says you need 50% down, 50% down. But we've actually found investors on the condo hotels that will do it with 25% down. And I think that's the lowest down payment threshold available out there right now.
That's the lowest that I've seen. And you know what?
Okay.
That's a great point. So if I want to, let's go through what it actually looks like if I want to get a second home, possibly
Okay.
as an
Sure.
MGM signature unit, and then also rent it out, in the meantime when I'm not there.
Sure.
What does that
Sure.
loan process look like? What does that product look like?
Right. So first thing I'll do, you'll either contact me through email or text or a phone call. We'll chat a little bit. I'll send you a link to our application. You'll fill it out. It takes about 10 minutes. We only do a soft check in the beginning, so really nothing to lose to apply. That's not going to be a hit to your credit. Usually I can turn those pre-approvals around in the same day. Okay. And there's different various like different loan product types available. Like the first most obvious would be a full doc loan. Okay. And that
Hmm.
would mean that you've got your tax returns or your W-2 forms, and we're able to show all of your income.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's going to get you the best rate. There's other options available, though. A lot of people are self-employed. They've got a lot of write-offs in their tax returns. Maybe the net income doesn't work out so good. So there's something called a DSCR loan. Um, and these have been a little bit tricky lately, with the rates the way they are. So basically, what a DSCR loan means is we're not going to use your income at all. And when we do the appraisal, the appraiser is going to tell us what property rents for, and that rent has to match or be very close to the mortgage payment. So that's the way we prove income. Basically, is to say, look, property is going to rent for X, Y, Z, and that number matches or is very close to the mortgage payment. Now, we've run into some hiccups on that recently because a lot of appraisers don't go out and estimate the short-term rent. They'll go out and they'll give you a monthly rent number,
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Right,
That's
which is not accurate because
so
it's
low.
MGM. You're going to rent it out on a nightly basis, so it's not comparable to like a 1,000 square foot apartment down the road. But one of the great changes that our lenders have made recently is there's a program called Air DNA where we can go in there and find out what the short-term rent is going to be. So we no longer have to rely on that appraiser's number. So
Oh,
we're now back in the game with DSCR. So the first option is the full doc
amazing.
loan, like I mentioned. Second option is DSCR, where we won't use your income at all. Another option is a profit and loss statement loan, where we'll basically go through your financials and we'll do it. We'll have a CPA help us do it for you. We'll build you a simple profit and loss
Hmm.
statement. You can use that as income. And then the other option is just to use a bank statement loan, where we'll take 12 months or 24 months of your business bank statements, add up all your deposits, and use that as income. So there's various different ways to get this done. Like I said, a lot of investors are self-employed. The income's not, black and white. We've
Absolutely.
pretty much got options for everybody there. So you'll send me your pre-approval or your link. I'll get you pre-approval, determine what kind of loan we're going to do. We'll tell you what the rate and the costs are going to be. Then we'll give you that pre-approval letter. You go out and find your property, and we will close the loan for you in 30 days. So standard turnaround time on closing.
Awesome. That's actually perfect because I get calls from people that are saying, "Hey, I'm not a standard W-2 person, right?
Right.
I have a lot of rental properties, and I have cash flow, but I can't show it. I don't have it. I write everything down on my taxes, right?
Right.
They will do what is it? You can cost segregation and just and load everything down, right, and bring everything way
Correct.
down. But with
Correct.
this program, with the bank statement program, basically, you can avoid all of that, all the hassle.
You can avoid all that. Another one I see often is a lot of people who buy condo hotels are, they're savvy investors. They've got a ton of investment properties, and to underwrite that deal on a full doc would be pretty document intensive for them. They'd have to
Yeah.
provide HOA bills for every property, insurance, taxes, leases for every property. And sometimes they don't want to go through that. So in that case, the DSCR would work perfectly for you because we don't need any of those documents.
Awesome. And so I just want to
Right.
make sure I understand it. With the DSCR, you are getting a loan if the rent covers the mortgage, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So then you would only want to put down, let's say maybe you want to buy it cash. You could have the money to buy it cash, but if you split it up, maybe you could put 50% down on each one and do basically DSCR, which you don't really have to show much qualifications, just the rent can afford it. And then you can get
That's
two
right.
properties. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's right. Absolutely. If you already own the property too, I mean, you've already got a rental history, that we can do a refinance on there and help you buy your next one as well. So,
Oh,
because a lot of people have been
perfect.
buying these in cash, they didn't know financing was available. They don't think they have the money to buy the next one, but they actually do if we can unlock this, get you that cash out and help you buy your next property.
So all hotel condos, MGM Signature, Palms Place, Trump, Vidara, even
Correct.
Platinum, little
Yeah,
Platinum.
platinum as well. We're actually doing a platinum right now. Platinum works as well. Actually, really nice property. I'm not a realtor, but just from what I've seen, lots of great amenities, but really nice, well priced,
It's
nice property.
undervalued for sure. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And then litigation. So if a property has litigation, we can still finance that, like Panorama or Veer, correct?
Correct. So yeah, so that's going to be a little bit of a different program. Excuse me. These towers, there's Panorama, for example, is right there on the strip. Beautiful tower, very desirable. Same with View right there on the strip. They sometimes get, there's arguments between the developer and the HOA, or a client and the HOA, and then there's a lawsuit happening. And sometimes these lawsuits will last 10, 15 years, and sometimes they're
Years.
really about nothing. I mean, really, like, I know that the Panorama is about something to do with the windows, or it's really not a big deal,
Yeah.
but that will prevent lenders from financing those. I mean, they'll just run away because they heard the word litigation. But we've actually found investors that dug into it, read the litigation, and have already, pre-qualified these buildings. So we actually just closed the Veer Tower a couple of days ago, and
Perfect.
Panorama as well.
What kind of down payment do I need for those kind of situations?
So those ones a little bit less, actually. We only need 20% down on those. Those are not condo hotels. These are regular condo units. And it's not just the Panorama or the Veer, and it's not always just litigation. There's, when financing a condo, there's an extra layer there, right? It's like I mentioned before about the condo questionnaire. All banks are going to want a condo questionnaire no matter what condo you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
Litigation could be one of the issues. The budget of the HOA could be another one of the issues. They also look at how many investors own in that project.
Yep.
Okay, they'll say, well, one company owns 30 or 40% of the project, which is pretty typical. It happens a lot. The developer will sell some of the units, and some of them they will keep and rent. And that kind of scares the banks as well, because they say, well, what if that investor, or something happens to that investor, then all of a sudden there's a bunch of units on the market. Typically, I haven't really seen that happen too much, and the investors we deal with know that. So when the typical Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac conventional loan won't do it, we have other options for you there as well. 20% down on the units with litigation. If it's one of those units where it's the investor concentration, we may be able to get it done for you with 10% down if it's owner occupied.
Nice.
If it's an investment, it'll still be 25%.
Okay, so we can do litigation, we can do condo hotels. What about just the normal condos, the normal towers that are good to go? Their ratios are okay. Let's say maybe is that like a Turnberry Towers or a Sky or a Lure potentially. Well, how much down or what kind of programs would we be looking at for something like that?
Right, so those are going to fit into your conventional loan. Okay, if you're a first-time buyer, you can actually buy those with 3% down.
Wow.
If you've owned a property before, you can do it with 5% down. Now, at our company, we've actually got a database of all the condo questionnaires for all the condos in Las Vegas, actually across the country. So when you call me and you're interested in a particular unit, I've already got the information. I've already got that questionnaire. That's going to save you, the buyer, a cost, because there's a cost to these questionnaires, and it really streamlines the process. I can literally tell you immediately if we're a go on that conventional, and if you can do it with a low down payment. Now, when I say 3 and 5%, those are going to be owner occupied down payments.
3 and 5% owner occupied, of course. But that's another reason why I know that you are one of the best high rise lenders in town, because you have those. Now, a lot of lenders do not have a stockpile of all these forms that
they're guessing, and that's when you run into problems.
Yeah.
Because when it gets in underwriting, again, things come up, and then next thing you know, your deal's falling apart.
You need to find an expert, because you got agents saying, or lenders saying, we can do it, we can finance these, and then they just because they want to get the deal going, right, and see if they can. Right. But if you have a seasoned person like yourself to do this, and again, Sam's not giving me anything to be on here, right? I'm not affiliated with Sam, but I just know that Sam is used by other experts as well in the towers, in the high rises, and he has a solid track record. So that's why I wanted to bring him to you guys, so you can kind of take a look at this. But I think we've kind of wrapped it up. What else? Is there anything else that we should know, or because I think we hit everything? What other things that we think we should say?
Just the main thing. Make sure you're dealing with a knowledgeable person when financing condos. It's not impossible. I know I gave you a lot of information there, but no need to rack your brain over it. I've already done all that processing. All you got to do is call us. We've got the database. We'll streamline the process. You can close on time. it can be a flawless process. It absolutely can. We do it every day.
Perfect. What's your website again, Sam, for people to go
So it's
to?
meritlending.com, MERIT lending.com.
Meritlending.com. Perfect, Sam. I appreciate you coming on today and giving
Hey,
everybody
thanks
this
for inviting
information.
me. Had a great time doing it.
All right. Sounds good, Sam.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you again.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.